Intel have just reported earnings and they just beat expectation, but the stock is down 7% after hours. In this video, we'll talk about the key highlights of this report. We'll do a deep dive in the fourth quarter presentation, and in the end, we'll explain why the stock is down so much after hours. And then we'll talk about the fundamentals and valuations of the company. So, Intel is down 7.8%. The expectations were a little bit low. They were expected to earn 45 cents per share, while they came with 54 cents per share. It was a bit on the EPS, and their revenue come above expectation as well. The revenue in this latest quarter was around 15.5 billion, while the expectation were around 50.15 billion. It was good news for Intel, a good rebound. I do believe they have rock bottom already. This year was a really bad year for Intel, but they are recovering since the first quarter, which is good news in my opinion. Looking to the presentation, the key highlights we have, it was a bit on revenue, gross margins improved, and earnings per share was above expectations. They say they re-established technology leadership, at least in the processor units. They continue a leader in the market, but they have a lot of competition for AMD, but they are trying to gain market share in other markets, but it's been difficult. There is executive strategy to bring AI everywhere. Of course, they have to say AI. So, uh, Intel was one of the best performing stocks last year in the S&P 500. They are being one of the beneficiaries of this semiconductor AI boom. Um, Bear in mind, Intel is a turnaround story. They have been having two bad years, and now they are expecting to recover. But that's why the stock was down so much in 2022. But I do believe investors are expecting a lot, and a lot of this recover has already priced in the stock, and it's gonna be difficult. They talk about execution, system foundry, AI everywhere, of course. Their fourth quarter financial highlights: revenue 10% year-on-year growth, but the revenue for the 2022 was down 10% when compared to the last year. Their gross margins are recovering. Their earnings per share were not bad, actually. Uh, their client computing group, which is probably their biggest segment, it's down year on year. Data centers as well, and network. These three segments, which are the biggest segments on Intel, are their revenues are down. That's why the stock is having some difficulties at the moment. But good news, it's Intel Foundry Service is a segment that is growing, and at a good pace, for example, and investors are really bullish on their foundry service. They are investing a lot, trying to manufacture their own chips and trying to outsourcing their not outsourcing, but trying to manufacture for other companies. They want to manufacture for Nvidia, Intel, AMD, for example. And that's a reason for investors to be bullish on Intel, for example. Mobileye, it's growing, it's a growing segment as well, so that's the good news. But the bad news, it was the outlook. That's why the stock is down 7-8% after hours. Their revenue are expecting to be around 12.2, 13.2, which is when you compare to last year first quarter, it's a growth of 8%. But bear in mind, first quarter last year was a really bad quarter for Intel. Gross margins of 44.5%, which is under the mean of the last 5 years. It is really good margin, but Intel used to be better margins, and the earnings per share will be really low when you compare, for example, with this latest quarter. So Intel, you bear in mind, Intel is a company that is having some difficulties. It is a really good company. I do really love the company. I got really lucky to buy Intel. I bought Intel in 2022. I bought it two times, and it was the bottom of the stock. So it never. I didn't have the opportunity to have a bigger position on Intel because I bought the stock two times at $26, and the stock recover instantly, and at the moment it was trading around $50. I've sold my position 2 weeks ago. I do believe around the mark of 46 $48. At the moment the stock is down to 46, I believe. Let me see, to 46. The reason I've sold this stock, it's because semiconductors are having a huge boom in the last year. Stocks are up a lot, and semiconductors are, in my opinion, most of them overvalued, and Intel was one of them. Intel, it's worth 50 $60 dollars per share maybe, but this is a turnaround story. They have a lot to prove, a lot to recover. Bear in mind, this year their revenue was only $54 billion. In 2021 their revenue was $79 billion. For them to recover to 2021 level, they have to grow like 30 or 40% on their revenue, and it will take time. It will have They will need 2 or 3 more years to recover, and then they are investing a lot, and they might have a bright future. It is a company I do really like. It is a company I do follow, but at the moment, at this valuation, it doesn't make sense for me. I've actualized my discounted cash flow, but my intrinsic value right now for this year, it will be around $40. Uh, I'm looking for an opportunity to better entry point to buy Intel again, because it is a company I do really like. It is a really great company, but they have a lot of competition. They are facing a lot of competition from AMD, Nvidia. They are trying to invest in different business, but I do really like their investment into manufacturing, trying to manufacture chips in the US, for example, which might be a really good investment in the future. And that's the um, the business they are invested I'm most bullish on. So I do believe Intel will have a great future, but valuation wise, it doesn't make sense paying 46 right now. I'll be looking into Intel when it's under $40 again. I would like to buy Intel again at $30 or under that, which was my price in 2022. But I'll be patient, and if the opportunity comes around, I will take it. So this is my opinion. Intel, good bit, good earnings report, but the outlook, it's always the problem, and they are not expecting big growth in this next year, and it might be a problem for investors, because investors are paying for perfection, and at the moment investors are expecting a lot for this company, and that's why the stock is down almost 8% after hours. So I hope you like this video, guys. I hope you find it useful, and please like and subscribe. See you next time.